Hey guys, this is Game Candy, and today we're going to be talking about the top 10 overrated Pokemon. Just a warning, some may be triggered by said content. And let's get started. So, the first reason why Pikachu is exempt is that he's actually the mascot of Pokemon, obviously, so that's one good reason for him to be overrated. He represents all the products and everything for Pokemon, so we're actually going to keep him out of this. For number 10 is Ditto. So, the fact that Ditto transforms into any Pokemon makes him nothing. And it's literally not a living thing, it's an object that possesses voodoo capabilities. It turns into the same said Pokemon and uses the same moves that they acquire, rendering Ditto actually the same chance of winning as the actual opponent itself, or losing. Except Ditto has a disadvantage considering he takes at least an entire turn to transform, making the copied opponent ahead and dealing damage. I mean, people need to look past the fact that he can transform. I mean, cool, but Pokemon will always be the most effective being the opposite element. For example, water against fire, leaf against water, and, psychic to water. Case closed. So, number 9, we have Typhlosion. And I was debating whether to say Typhlosion or Cyndaquil because they're pretty much both used at the same time. They're both, similar Pokemon because Cyndaquil will soon evolve into Typhlosion. He's basically a fire badger, was introduced in Gold, Silver, and Crystal as a second form of Cyndaquil and as a second generation starter. And looking past his in-depth biology on how he has sharp canines and when angered he has things go up in flames, he's a pretty mediocre Pokemon. He was pretty much given an early Mega Evolution appearance in the anime to catch the audience's interest. And he doesn't acquire anything other than the badass appearance to stand out. I mean, fire type is probably one of the most popular types out there, and just the fact that he has things exploding out of his body, just makes him more appealing to people. Alright, now Lapras. I mean, the fact that there was no water types never to accompany the ocean, hardly also given a badass look, and an obvious defense mechanism. This is actually a gentle Pokemon. If you pull up the Wikipedia and look up Lapras, this is actually one of the most gentle Pokemon in the ocean. Which actually shocked me, actually, for the fact that, he's given the spikes coming out of his back and all. I envisioned, the most gentle Pokemon being, one of the small cute ones, like Minus or Plusle. But Lapras is actually one of the most delicate Pokemon out there in the sea. And he's overrated because he's given a semi-legendary recognition. I mean, not for his fighting abilities, but because it resembles Plesiosaur. Yeah, a Plesiosaur. Alright, number 7 we have Gyarados. Okay, so first off, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. Let's go back to Magikarp. Basically, he literally jumps and flails to get back in the water. He's basically the dumbest Pokemon ever, and so it seems like the creators said, "Oh my god, we fucked up making this Pokemon. Let's scrap it." And then it's someone else said, it's too late, I already published it. And then they're like, well shit, and then they decided to have the most underpowered Pokemon evolve into the most overrated Pokemon. But not necessarily the most overrated for the fact that this is number 7. But other than that, like they said, well shit, it seems people aren't going to be too crazy about Magikarp, so then they said, well, let's have him evolve into the most badass Pokemon of the sea named Gyarados. And then someone in the back of the room was like, oh, well, what if that's just not good enough? And then everybody's like, well, what can we do to make Gyarados even more badass? Then they're like, well, what if when Gyarados is shiny, he's, get this, red? And then the other person across the room says, genius! If you haven't noticed yet, it takes 400 eggs to evolve a Magikarp and a Gyarados in Pokemon Go, which is pretty overrated. So if that's not overrated for you, then I don't know what the hell is overrated. Alright, for number 6 we have Snorlax, literally known for being the laziest Pokemon that just sleeps on his ass all day. That's a start. He's literally an iconic Pokemon that's being cute and laying on a hill. So obviously here we don't have anything to this Pokemon other than the fact that it sleeps on his ass and looks adorable, so I guess that's cute to people. But like, watch half the audience say like I'm fat shaming Snorlax. No. If you go on Pokemon Go, like the Pokemon Go guide, Snorlax is considered semi-legendary, for fuck's sake. I mean, Snorlax is just a fucking Pokemon that sits on a hill. Like, what is so awesome about Snorlax? Can please somebody tell me what's so awesome about Snorlax? Alright, for number 5 we have Dragonite. Oh my god. Mainly rare only because it evolves from Dratini, and if you didn't know, Dratini and Dragonair are rare. So, I don't really have much to say about Dragonite. He's just a he's just a flying dragon, like, and basically, everybody just desires him because Dragonair and Dratini are rare, so all I have to say about that one. Alright, number 4 we have Blastoise. Basically, Blastoise is the same case as Typhlosion. He's an overrated, full evolution of Squirtle and a starter. And its guns under his shell not only give him a badass appearance, but it gives him the edge no other Pokemon provides, which, I mean, this was originally a game directed towards a younger audience, so having firearms are certainly different. Alright, for number 3 we have Mew, basically the first legendary to come to people's mind whenever there's the word legendary in Pokemon. Basically the fact that there had to be a Mew and then a Mewtwo is just, basically that's enough evidence to say he's definitely overrated. Case closed. Number 2 we have Eevee. Good old Eevee. Practically on every square mile on damn Pokemon Go, people want all 3 forms on Pokemon Go, and Eevee creates such an interest that they had to create 8 forms of it. Like, one wasn't enough for everybody. And it's so common on Pokemon Go that its demand is sickening.
There's so many Eevees on Pokemon Go, I have Eevees falling out of my ass!
I mean, there should just be one Pokemon like every other Pokemon in the game. And if you want to create more interest in Pokemon, then you have it evolve 1 or even maybe 2 times if it's a starter, or if it's just a Pokemon that it creates an interest. But I mean, Eevee is just one of those Pokemon that's different because it can evolve into 8 different types depending on what stone you give it, and that's just completely overrated. They gave it that one aspect so it stands out from every other Pokemon. Alright, number 1 is definitely Charizard. Basically the third case of an overrated full evolution of a starter. Something everyone wants on Pokemon Go, or Pokemon in general. Basically every single game someone wants to find Charizard. I mean, come on guys, there's other Pokemon out there that you can show appreciation to and you can make a lot of fan arts of, but Charizard's just that one Pokemon that everybody's trying to depict like a mascot of whenever it comes to Pokemon. And sometimes whenever you say Pokemon, that Charizard or Blastoise are going to be one of the first Pokemon you're going to come to mind whenever you say the word Pokemon. So I'm going to offer you guys some alternatives to Pokemon that I feel aren't appreciated enough. So we got Ludicolo. Basically, he was introduced in the 4th generation. Don't quote me on that. Maybe the 3rd generation. I'm thinking 4th generation though. He's basically an interesting Pokemon. I mean, he has the maracas going on for him. They basically sing and dance at gatherings and such. They all sing together, and it's just adorable. I mean, why don't people talk about Ludicolo? Alright, we also have Sudowoodo, again a 3rd or 4th generation. I'm pretty sure this one's a 4th generation, don't quote me on that one either. Sudowoodo, what can I say? I mean, why doesn't people talk about Sudowoodo? This is one of the first Pokemon that caught my interest whenever I started getting into Pokemon back in Generation 4. It has a simplistic design. It just looks balanced. I don't know why people don't really talk about Sudowoodo. I mean, he's amazing. And this one people might recognize as well. Not exactly completely overrated, but he just needs some more love than Charizard, etc. It's Apom. Again, I think this one was, yeah, he was introduced in Generation 3. And yeah, those are just 3 examples of Pokemon that need more attention. And there's plenty out there that you guys can discuss other than Eevee, Blastoise, and Charizard. I mean, come on. So, a little disclaimer.
Oh man, did he end the video already? I was just getting the popcorn. Wait, maybe it's still on. Oh no, this is the out. Wait, maybe this is the intro. Nope, it says goodbye. Well, I guess I'm just gonna eat this popcorn by myself and have nothing to watch.